Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, now, a year ago, not many people here in the United States would have thought Hillary Clinton would be going head-to-head with Donald Trump in the battle for the Oval Office. The billionaire businessman has defied the expectations, of course, of political commentators and pollsters and his own party, riding on a wave of anti-establishment sentiment and populist policies. Perhaps then not all that dissimilar to Nigel Farage's campaign for the UK to leave the European Union. Now, I caught up with the former UKIP leader. He was at the Republicans' convention as it was drawing to a close.
Well, Nigel Farage, good to see you here. A bit of a jamboree, a bit like a UKIP conference, really.
Well, UKIP's always fun, but it's not this much fun. But what it's got in common with UKIP is the sheer unpredictability of it. I'd expected to see something very stage managed. It's far from that. You know, Cruz took the platform last night and refused to endorse Trump, so it's very exciting.
Does anyone know who you are?
It's just unbelievable. I mean, the resonance of Brexit here with the grassroots Republicans is unbelievable, and they see it as a sign of hope. They see it as the establishment can be beaten, change can happen, and there are some similarities. You know, London has become quite disconnected from much of the rest of, well, certainly England and Wales, you know, and we saw that in the results, and a big feeling here that Washington it's almost like a separate country from Middle America.
So you think it's given the Trump campaign a bit of a boost? Of course, he was over the day of the Brexit result in Scotland, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, I do. And the other thing is this. You know, why did we win Brexit? Well, all the experts said it'd be a 60% turnout. It was 73% turnout. And the evidence I've got is all over the country. People were arriving at polling stations saying, what do we do? How do we vote? And what Trump is going to try and do in this speech, he's going to try and connect with blue-collar America. You know, people for whom life has not been so good. A very similar kind of voter as third Brexit.
So would this make it a perfect political year for you? You've got Brexit, and you would like to see President Trump in November.
Well, having condemned Obama for coming to the UK and telling us how to vote, I'm not endorsing anybody. Although I have to say, I'd never vote for Hillary.
But do you like what he says? Let's talk about some of the policies. Do you like what he says about immigration?
Well, I like the fact he's talking about it. I like the fact he's daring to take on an issue that many in Washington would...
But do you like what he says about some of the solutions? Building walls, forced repatriation?
No, I don't. And I feel very uncomfortable. I mean, two things really. One, when there were protesters at his rallies, he was encouraging his own supporters to kind of beat up protesters. I felt very uncomfortable about that. And I also think what he said about Muslims, and we've got some other politicians in Europe doing the same thing, if we're labelling a whole section of our community effectively as bad, that is not the way forward.
So he's going too far on that. I mean, you've said in an interview here that this lot make you feel left-wing.
Oh, very much so, yeah. But, I mean, look.
But why?
Well, we may speak the same language, but the cultural differences are really big. I was here on Tuesday night.
No, but left-wing, what's too right-wing about them?
Well, if you speak to this lot about public health care provision, you know, they think it's a very bad idea. That's just one example.
So did you?
No, that's ridiculous. What I've said is we ought to have a debate about it. You know, in France, they do it differently. Having a debate, you know, is a good thing in all forms of politics.
But go on, what else is too right-wing for you?
Well, culturally, on Tuesday, Chris Christie spoke, and he got this crowd chanting about Hillary Clinton, lock her up. And I'm thinking, is this really happening?
So, okay, what about the open carrying of guns in this state?
Yeah.
That kind of libertarianism, which is something that you, in the United Kingdom, in a different way, is something that you put forward.
Well, I don't think the Olympic team should have to go to Calais to practice pistol shooting. I think there are sensible ways around it. But no, look, you know, I mean, frankly, you know, if I try and talk to any of these people here, friends of mine that are here, about their gun laws, I think it's absolutely mad that you can go to a supermarket and buy a repeating rifle without basically proving who you are. I find some of that stuff really strange.
quick thoughts about developments back home and the progress of Brexit. First and foremost, is it too slow for you? Do you detect foot dragging?
Well, I tell you what, we've got August coming up, a month in which Mr Juncker won't be in Brussels much anyway. And I do actually buy the argument that after 40 years, we haven't got any trade negotiators. So I think the Prime Minister deserves time, and the three Brexiteers deserve time to get their teams together. But I wouldn't want to see it drag out too long. And there are 17.5 million people who very clearly don't just want us to leave the EU, they want us out of the single market, an end to free movement, and they want our territorial fishing waters back.
So would you say if Article 50 is not triggered by the beginning of 2017, then you will start making more of a fuss?
Yes, and I would also say this: if the wishes of those people in that referendum are not carried out by the general election of 2020, we could see yet more huge change in British politics.
And you are saying the single market is over because you understand it involves the four freedoms. One of those is freedom of movement. There can be no negotiating on this, can there, with the EU? They will stick by their four freedoms, and you say Brexit must mean an end to free movement.
Well, that's right, and I mean, in the end, I hope that David Davis is successful in getting tariff-free trade. I think it's very possible, given just how much the German car market needs us, the French wine market needs us, and they've got elections coming up next year. But I mean, if we came to a point down the road where that wasn't possible, one thing I'm certain of is no deal is better than the current deal that we've got.
And any thoughts on the leadership of your party? Any thoughts on who you'd like to see take over?
No, I'm going to let UKIP sort that out. I mean, look, you know, I haven't retired. I haven't sort of bought a shack in the hills. I'm still around, but it won't be me that leads the party into the next general election. And we've got some good candidates. I won't interfere.
Will you endorse someone eventually?
When they win, yes.
Okay. And what about your own political future?
Well, I'm still leading a group in the European Parliament. I'm still in a good position there to observe what's going on and comment on what's going on. And once Article 50 is triggered, you know, I mean, I will be encouraging and helping, if I can, the government to do its job. But if it drags its feet, then I won't be, you know, I won't be shy in saying so.
And if you were offered a place in the Lords, what would your reaction be?
I don't think that's going to happen.
But if you were?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. The establishment don't like me very much.
Well, you still haven't said if you were offered a place in the House of Lords to have some role in the Brexit process, it's something you'd consider.
I'll consider anything in life. I'm open-minded, but right now I'm enjoying the fact that I've stood down as UKIP leader. It's allowing me to go out and do different things, including being here this week.
Okay, Mr. Farage, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.